Hi friends, so for this video we will see about the interface. For that I'm using Java programming language. So as you know, means as you might know that in C++ there is option to using a multiple inheritance. So due to some issues in the JVM, or reducing some conflict in the JVM, Java does not support the multiple inheritance. Like you cannot extend multiple classes. So to provide the equivalent feature or something like that, the Java have another feature that is called as interface. So inter means just basic definition of interface. So interface is like contract, means if you want to use interface, then you are bound to implement all the functions that are have its signature into the interface. So let us begin by defining a simple interface actually. So for that I am using an example that is mentioned on Oracle's website. So it is an interface. So let us begin with it. So it is a bicycle. What are the primary, you can say that feature of a cycle? So like it have a cadence. It is like the speed of you can say the tire, or probably RPM in more appropriate way. So it have whatever the changes is happening into the tires speed that have to be updated with the help of interface. Then further there is a change in gear, so you have to provide the new value for the change in the gear, or what the gear number has been changed. Then speed up is there. Then what are the increment actually, means from the previous, you can say that the speed, what are the new speeds has been put up. Then apply brake. So for apply brake means there should be a decrement in the speed. So it is a simple interface. So here we are simply have the signatures, or you can say the declaration of the methods, not the definition. So we will implement these methods in a separate classes. So yeah, so for your kind information, means if you want to have another interface and want to use this along with the inheritance or likewise. So if there is a just I want to comment and make it clearer to you by now itself. So interface and interface are, if there is an interface and interface, so it will extends. If there is a class to class, then it will extend, means extend keyword is used to implement that. And if there is a interface, sorry, there is a misspelling, to class, then it will implement, means classes implements interfaces, whereas interface extends interface, and class also extend a interface. So this is generic scenario how it exactly works. So now let us define a class and implement this interface. So as per the example, there is Acoma bicycle which implements our bicycle interface. So as you have defined, I am using IntelliJ IDEA. So you will get an error, means if you are using any ID, for sure you will get the error. So what is the reason of this error? You might think of it like it is saying that there is some method that hasn't been implemented, means you have bound contract that if you are going to implement this method, then only you have to use the interface. Here click here, or just press command enter, and or control N actually in your system if you're using Mac or Windows, based on that shortcut. So there is an option of uh, implement method. So there is a distinction. If you are using interface and want to use its method, so that is called as implementing the method. And in case of class, if you're using that, so you have to override the methods. Means class methods are overridden, whereas interface methods are implemented. So as you are able to see here, yeah, even though here is annotation of overriding, for sure we are using interface and we are writing an interface method. So here we need to define a few class variable. So that will be like something int, then RPM we can say. By default it will be 0 because the cycle will be at steady speed, means there will be no any speed. Then the gear, so by default it will be in the gear 1 because I believe cycle have no any neutral or something like that. So now just make a change, RPM is equal to new value, sorry, yeah, so it is likewise. Then for the gear change, so like gear is equal to new value. If there is any change in the gear, then for the then speed up is, so like speed is equal to speed, or simply this speed is equal to because we are using this speed plus sorry, I'm sorry, there is a mistake by me. So here it is an increment, means this speed is equal to the current speed along with the increment that has happened along with the time. Further, this dot speed is equal to this dot speed minus we need not to put this here because there is no any shadowing related issue. Shadowing is a is a term when the parameter and the class variable having the same name. At that point this is used, but for here there is no any conflict, but for our convenience or so if there is a decrement in the speed, so we will reduce that into the current speed from the current speed. Then we will implement a toString method in which I will simply print all these changes over the screen. So in our main function we can simply make var, and yeah, var is a new keyword. I believe it is introduced in JDK version 14 onwards. So it will do I can say that the variable type, I am not able to recall the name, but yeah, it will automatically change the variable type or class name or something like that by its own during the compile time. So just create a bicycle, bicycle is equal to new ACME bicycle. So I am created an object here. Now let's change the thing. So I have made a mistake here. I need to put a private before this because by default they are okay. So now we will not have any access of them, and here I need to pass a parameter which is called as so let's consider I am at gear number 2. Then bicycle dot change in RPM. So now it is about it is just a number, there is nothing related to mathematics. New RPM, then a bicycle dot speed up. So if it is moving around 200 RPM, so take something like 8 km per hour, likewise. So it is now we can print it as out and simply bicycle, because we are implementing here toString method, so it will automatically convert our object in this format because you already override it. So now if we are running it, we will get something, yeah, like it. So the cycle have RPM of 200, then speed is nearly 8 km per hour, and it is in the gear number 2. Further we can change the RPM, like uh, apply a brake for some reason, so it will cause reduction in the speed for 2 kilometer per hour, along with a generic thinking, like if there is a brake, then RPM will also change like 140. And now if you want to reprint it, you can easily check it, the changes. Now rerun it and wait for a second. So as you are able to see, the new changes is reflected into the object. So the basic meaning of interface is that it is a contract. Means if you want to implement the interface along with a class, you need to implement all the function. For sure, if you are not implementing it likewise, so you are not forced to have the functionality of method, but you need to put like overriding and the method name and the parameters of it in an defined fashion that are already mentioned here. And by the way, here you can have public or not, because that is not a restriction. By default, all the methods in the interface is public. So because of ease, id by itself is removing it, or you can do it by your own. And as you are able to see here, that if you are not implementing this method, you can also have, I believe, exception like new unimplemented is there, I believe, or not implemented. Yeah, not implemented exception along with some message like it is